and integrity flowing. Artie Lang Live May 13th reporting from the beautiful, gorgeous $6.69 studio overlooking Lake Superior from the 33rd floor. Are you stuck in the rat race? Keep repeating the same horrible cycle over and over, fleeced 50+%. It's not your fault. It's all manipulation, sophisticated and orchestrated. That's why old Vincenzo here sidestep and discard shyster companies quickly and promote companies like Pan American Silver First Majestic, Silver Kinross, Gold Audible to live-changing profits, with Rivian electric vehicle maker receiving $800 million from the state of Illinois. Stock price is coming off. It's all-time low, 95% down below, $8. I believe they will become profitable within 18 months. I am not a financial advisor. This is education and entertainment. Sidestep the market manipulators and the criminal gangsters with simple, super simple, and easy investing tips for generational wealth, peace, and love. Bell notification subscribe down below for free to keep truth, education, entertainment, and integrity flowing.
Bell notification, and most importantly, subscribe for free down below. Good 13th day of May, if we can believe this already, steadily marching our way towards Memorial Day weekend on an overcast, hazy, crystal clear late spring blue skies with just a few high cirrus clouds streaming in from the west at 44,669 feet. And we ask you to comment down below to get that #1 XRP gold and silver bullion insider here on social media and exclusively on YouTube. And we ask you to push us through that YouTube sphere by liking it down below and sharing to get this information out to the new and existing people that need to see this station. And as we currently look at the beautiful day and the windmills spinning in the background, and we'll take a quick look at this here at Camp Rivian. See that big windmill in the background? You can see the big windmill over there. We're doing an expansion on the roof, but this is in the way over there. But we got that big windmill, and just like that big windmill is a turning and generating power, this channel is a generating views and generating education and information. And as we get Ira, the coin update man, to come in here, and he has the temperature, and he has to tell us currently the current temperature is 51 degrees out there at the Central Illinois Airport in Bloomington, just after the 9 o'clock Central Daylight Standard Time. And we got Rivian on the full screen here because we've been talking about Rivian for quite some time. We do know on this channel I've been at Camp Rivian before Camp Rivian was on the stock market. I did, in fact, the company that I work for, what I wanted to do. But apparently we're just going to have to use this because when I have the people on here, that's what happens. It doesn't let that tool come up for some reason. So, but we know that we started out looking at Rivian because I was been out here since before this chart started, since about way back here during COVID. It came out and IPO'd, and I was warning you all up in here to buy Rivian when it comes out. But then when I seen the IPO, what they were going to list it at, I said, do not buy it. I put an emergency alert video out on the day that they were, the night before they were IPOing, the week before they were IPOing, and when they were actually cutting the ribbon out here with Nick Hansen, a former Body Shop manager, that they like cut the ribbon. I said, don't buy it. You're going to have to let this thing deflate unless you're trying to play a quick pump to see how high it could go. But I wasn't willing to play that because I didn't know if it was going to last a day or a week, but I knew it was going to roll over, and I didn't want to get stuck north of $100 or $65. I think it opened at about $75 to the general public, or $80. And then you can see from November the 21st, right around my birthday, just after my birthday in November, it's been in a humongous bear market in a falling channel. And besides trying for people to swing trade it, there has been no accumulation this whole way by me down. I didn't buy any there. I didn't buy any there. Everyone says buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and buy the dip. Yeah, that would have been a decent strategy, but your average price would have been up here in the 30s probably, unless you loaded a shitload down at $8, right? But I was just waiting, and I waited the rest of 2021 to finish in December, all of 2022 in the bear market, going into 2023, and then I did make a trade Last year when we were in this consolidation, we were on the swing back up in here at about $14.97. I bought it, and then it ran all the way up to $30. It didn't get to 30. It got to like $26.50 or something, or 27. And then it started consolidating, and then I sold it because I did really good on it. And then I let it trade out, and I didn't buy any until it got back down to $16.25 on Charles Schwab. I bought 50 shares, and then I went away from there. And then on Robinhood, I started buying $16 a day once it got to $12, right? And now I got 400 shares there, and I waited, though. You notice how I waited. I let it come all the way down. I let it come all the way down from way back here. I let years go by. I let the price go to where I think it needed to go to make a big run, because you can see where some of this resistance is. We broke out of this falling channel right there, or falling wedge, depending on how you want to draw it. Hyper pump up to the 25.66, got majorly rejected, traded back into a major traded zone, came back down, and essentially if we would have drawn this out farther, it's essentially back testing this, and now we're holding it. And I think eventually there's got to be a relief rally, because they're so heavily shorted. There's so many puts on this. They are making vehicles. Rivian did just get $1.4 billion. They're investing in the Rivian normal facility in Illinois here, McLean County, that I'm sitting here looking at, and just showed you the big windmill blade spinning behind this white tent just off to the east by a couple of 100 yards of the plant. And $871 million is being subsidized or given to them by the state of Illinois. And that happened last Thursday, which is funny, right around a time we were having our last dump, and an extension off the dump, right? We need to get out of this. We had an extension off the dump right here. You see this big last dump? This whole move now is an extension off the dump. And then they had that news about the money coming from the state back here last Thursday. Price immediately starts to pump. And I think we're going to get really quickly into this orange trading range and fill this target up here. And I think we're going to be sitting around $16 in the next few weeks. It's going to be very choppy. It's up 10% today. It was down 6% after earnings last week, 13% off this move from high to swing low. It was down 13%. But I think this is going to be a good long-term play. I don't think the government's going to let them go bankrupt, at least for a decade, because it's doing a lot for what the government needs. So you might as well buy the shares when it's cheap down here versus up here, up there, or way out at $173. You think this stock's a pile of shit if you bought it at 75 on the day it opened, or 175 on November the 12th before it dumped. And now you're down 99%, because even a 40% move down here, it only moved about 4% for you. But if you bought it down here when you should, this is when you buy them and hold them and at least play back into here, whether it takes 6 months or a year. It took me 6 months to accumulate all of these shares on Robinhood at $16 a day. We have 200 shares on here at, this is my Barrett Gold. I bought 200 shares right there. This is my Rivian right here. We bought 312 shares at $10.43, because we were buying $16.66 a day. And you can see we just stopped doing that. We just turned it off. But that's just something I thought you should see. It's a good company. I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I play one on this radio show. These are strictly my own personal opinions, education, and entertainment on the market, and what I am actually personally doing in the market. I am investing in Rivian, and I think that is a good, anything below $13, $14, I think it's a good buy. When it's below 10, you buy a lot of it. If it's below 5, buy even more. And then once it gets above $12, $13, don't buy it anymore. You should already be in it and have your shares. And then what I'm doing with Rivian is I'm going to play it for a few years. I think eventually they're going to have big pumps, because I'm playing with Rivian earnings one day. Right now they're losing a lot of money per vehicle they sell, but 2 years ago they were losing about $250,000 per vehicle they sold, right? Very bad. Last year they were down to about $130,000 per vehicle. Still horrible, but they cut it in half from what they were losing. And now we just got done with that major April shutdown to enhance their productivity, prep for the new vehicles they're going to be building here, because they're going to be building massive expansions. This plant's going to be twice the size it is now. They're going to start building across the road, right? But we increased their production. They're cutting their night shift out because what we just did for them with their updates and their modifications to their assembly line. I'm playing that, and I think they're down to about $80,000 they lose, or $90,000 they lose per vehicle. I'm playing that eventually they're going to be profitable and break even and then profitable. And if you bought it before they make their first profit, when everything was bad, when all the news was bad 3 months ago, when it capitulated on them and their stock price went down about 60% in about a month, right? That once they finally make earnings and say $8 or $7.50 was their bottom, and then in 6 months from now they make and say they broke even, their stock price is going to be 2 or 3 times